College to university is not a small step. It's a giant leap. Just as Neil Armstrong said when he landed on the moon. Make sure that you can help yourself. I'm not saying that this is, what I'm going to tell you is actually set in stone, but I know from experience as a university lecturer that this advice will help you as you go through your university life. It seems a very obvious thing to say, but firstly, it is your degree. Don't let your parents sort of rule you still while you're at university. Even if you are living at home while you're studying at university. Really, the degree is for you. It's your degree. You're not doing it for your parents, so do remember you're doing it for yourself. The first thing I would say that you really need to consider when you start at university is to manage your time. Managing your time is so essential, because if you can manage your time, both what you do outside of university, so in your social life, etc., and what you do inside university, it'll be much better, because there's nothing worse than sort of rushing things and rushing to do things right at the last minute. So yes, you do need to have fun, and your fun starts in Freshers Week. It's very important to make friends, because actually, again, in my reflections at the end of first year, students have said to me that they struggled to make friends at first, partly because they were shy, and even when people said to them, other students said to them, you know, come and join us, they were reticent about doing that. You also need to take up outside other activities. Many students have said to me how joining a sports club or any other form of social club at university has helped them tremendously, because that joining of the sports club helped them, and in fact they reflected that not only did it help them mentally to relax when away from the study, but it also helped them to with their linking the work and their sport, and the idea of the discipline of a sport actually help them to be disciplined in doing their work as well. Also, another thing you can do in socialising, make sure you join and make friends with your flatmates. Now, in the first year at most universities, most students will live in a university accommodation. And even if you don't, you still need to make friends with your flatmates, because making friends with your flatmates will help you tremendously in terms of this social environment at university. Make friends with your classmates. Now, this has great benefits, particularly if you're doing teamwork, working while you're at uni. Now, I would suggest that if you do take up a part-time job, that you only do about 16 hours a week. Firstly, it's another thing to do away from the hustle and bustle of uni, and it also helps you to meet other new friends outside of university life. I have spoken to employers, and employers tell me that your degree is a given. What they really look for on your CVs and your applications, what have you done while you've been at university, outside of university? Charity work. So if you do work for some charity, or even if you sort of organise events at uni, that's another important thing. Quite a lot of students organise events, especially if they're in a sports club, they'll organise events. That's another good thing that you can say on your CV. So you don't necessarily have to get a paid job, but certainly anything that shows that you're doing something outside of your study. Independent learning is so important. This means that you are thinking for yourself, and really, the class contact time, which varies of course, is only giving you the basics. In management, you normally would have, varies about 12 hours contact time, and management being a social science, so if you're doing social sciences. If you're doing more of a physical science, such as chemistry, you will have more time, because you'll actually have time in the labs as well as your lectures. You're expected, through independent learning, to read widely. You cannot rely on what the lecturer has told you. The lecturer only gives you the basics. Coursework takes a number of forms, and these, what I'm going to tell you, are not exhaustive. So, I have here essays and reports, usually more the social science, but so also for the physical sciences. Posters. Now this seems to be more of come into play recently. The reason they've come into play in universities is because actually academics, when they go to conferences, often do a poster presentation. So they have sort of brought that in to the classroom and encouraged students to do poster presentations. The other thing is practicals, practical assessment. Now that is certainly going to be the case if you're doing the physical sciences, where there'll be practical work which you have to do for your assessment. What you need to do is develop your presentation skills. So if you are asked to do a presentation, don't hesitate, don't be shy about it, be bold about it. And although I'm going to do another video, make sure you're following me, on presentations, where I will go into the detail, the most important thing I always say with presentations, don't read your slides. You'll probably notice I'm looking at my slides every now and again, just to remind me what I say next, but I'm not reading anything to you, am I? I'm doing it naturally. That's how you need to be. Don't procrastinate. Well, I had quite a number of students told me that they procrastinated. That is, they thought, I'll put it off till tomorrow. I'm not doing it now, I'll do it tomorrow. That is the worst thing you can do, you know. Last minute is not a good idea. You really need to think in advance. Now, from my experience, most universities will give you your coursework right at the beginning of the delivery of the course. A number of pieces of coursework. You won't have one. I don't know, it varies from university to university how many courses you're doing in one semester or one term, but basically you will have almost certainly have more than one piece of coursework. So you need to manage your time. Remember I told you about managing your time, so important to you?